What's going on, everybody? Pete with Auto Repair Tips. In this video, I got a 2020 Ford Edge. Customer called me up the other day and they wanted to get their transmission serviced. I said, not a problem. We definitely do that kind of work here. Bring it in and I'll get it done for you. So in this video, I'm not going to show you how to take apart like the air breather or the lower cover, things like that. That stuff is pretty much self-explanatory. If you can't take that kind of stuff off, then you probably don't need to actually attempt this repair. But if you know how to take that kind of stuff off, this is definitely doable at home. Skill level is going to be about a 2. But what I am going to show you is where the drain plug is, where the leveling plug is, and how to fill it up, and what to do when you're filling it up. There are certain things that you're going to want to follow when doing this so you don't mess up your transmission. All right, let's get into it. So one of the first things I usually do when I'm doing a transmission service, at least on a Ford Edge, you have to take the breather box out of the way. There's 2 bolts. These were mismatched, so I'm sure that someone lost this bolt that went to it. But there's 2 bolts that come out here. One was an 8, one was a 10. I believe both are supposed to be like this, 10s, but one was really small. But they don't bolt, the actual housing doesn't bolt in, it just snaps in. There's 2 extensions right here that go into rubbers down there, and what you do is you just kind of reach down there and pop, and it'll pop right out. There's a couple of plugs that you're going to undo. One is right here. This looks like it's part of the evap system. This plug right here went to an air temperature, and you just got to lay it aside. When you do pop it out, take a second and look at the air filter. I'm definitely going to recommend one, and then also clean out the box when you go back with it. Once you get the breather box out of your way, there's a vent cover. That's actually a vent cover, and it's also how you fill it. And it is right here. Right there. And that's also, like I said, that's also your fill hole. And what you'll do is you'll just get a funnel with an extension on it, and you'll just slide this out of the way. And you can get a funnel straight down on top of that. All right, so I've got the car raised up in the air. Again, if you're at home and you have to raise it up, always use caution, use jack stands. This is your drain plug right here. You're gonna take it out, fluid's gonna go everywhere, so make sure you use a drip pan when you're catching it. When you go back with this, it's 124 inch-pounds or German specs, good and tight. So to get to the leveling plug, I remove the tire from the driver's side, and if you go right through here, you can see it right there. It's a 10 Allen head, and I just use an extension with a ratchet, take it out, and make sure you put a drip pan down there when you're doing it, because when you go to fill it, you're going to lose some fluid. So when you're installing the fluid, I just put a funnel like this. It kind of goes right in the hole like I was telling you. And you use the Mercon ULV. It says 6 quarts when you do a drain and refill. That's what we've done. But again, like I said, you got to get it warm. So what I'll do is I'll pour it in until it just starts to come out the bottom side down there. And then I'll start the vehicle up and let it run until it gets warm, run through the gears, and then we'll top her back off. The fluid that came out was nasty black. When you're filling it up, you just got to have a little bit of patience. It does take a little bit of time to go down. That is a vent section of the that is a vent down there that you're pouring it back into. And there's a plastic, looks like a little plastic sleeve down inside there. It's got a little hole. The fluid has to get past all that while you're filling it up. So I've got about, I don't know, just right at 3 quarts in there. There's not much left in this quart here. And it's just now starting to trickle out the bottom. So I'm gonna go ahead and start it up and get it warm, and we'll kind of go through the gears. All I'm gonna do is put it in reverse. I'm not gonna let the wheel spin, and then I'll put it in drive, put it in 1 and put it in 2, then back to park. As soon as I started it up, it immediately stopped coming out, and it sucked this fluid right on down. So we'll go ahead and keep topping it off. So after 4 quarts, it's still not coming back out of the drain, and I have not even put it in any of the gears yet. You like how I emphasize that? Not even. Now when I took it out, I swear to you, there wasn't 3 or 4 quarts that came out, it seemed like. I'm kind of wondering, was it low? But I didn't see no leaks anywhere. So this is quart number 5. I'm gonna go ahead and put it in gear. 5 quarts and still nothing. All right, I'm in reverse, neutral, drive. Let's go back to reverse. When you stick it in one of the gears, like reverse, technically you should let it sit for just a few minutes. And still nothing coming out. And we are sucked to dry in here. And don't worry about overfilling it. When you pour it in, if it starts to come out, that leveling port down there, when it levels off evenly, it'll just stop. I mean, as long as you catch it in a bucket, you're not gonna hurt nothing. You really can't overfill it this way. See, I'm just now starting to come out. See it coming out right there? That's what it looks like. Now what I'll do is I'll go ahead and cut the car off. Once it's full like that, you can leave the leveling plug out and just go ahead and remove the funnel, put this back together up here, raise it up, and then put the plug back in. That's fine doing that. Just make sure you get a rag down here and catch anything that might come out so you don't make a mess. So if you're doing this job at home, hopefully you may pick up a tip or a trick or something that'll help you out. That being said, this job is done. I appreciate you watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. Catch you later.